Do you have a brilliant startup idea? Visit our website at eapla.com to schedule a Blue Couch meeting and launch your startup journey today.
All right, welcome back to On The Cusp, our little podcast here. I got my co-host Matt Snyder back with me.
Thank you, Dave.
And who we got today?
Man, I'm excited about this one. We got two of my friends from a long time doing something exciting. We got Randolph Smith and Bob Thames with Marilynn's place.
Yeah.
Super exciting. So when I saw the news, it's like, we got to get y'all in here and check it up. I mean, it's an iconic place.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You guys have been doing cool things in town. You've both been on the podcast before talking about your individual businesses.
Yeah.
Tell us about the Marilynn's place takeover.
Yeah, what's the plan for Marilynn's?
Well, so for me, this was a project that was probably 7 years in the making. I lived on Greenway Place, which is on the other side of the golf course from Marilynn's place.
I lived on Greenway.
You can see Marilynn's place from the old backyard. I can see the old backyard from Marilynn's place. And so I would walk when I worked for Great Raft. I would go to Key Mexico, have dinner, have a couple beers. I'd go back to Marilynn's, have beignets and a couple more beers, and then I'd travel back home to the house. And so at some point, probably pre-COVID, 2018, 19, I walked up to Boz one day and probably had a little liquid courage, and I said, man, let me buy this place from you. If you ever get ready to sell, I'm your guy. Like, let me know. And so we had that conversation from 2018, 2019 up until earlier this year. And the running joke was he always asked me for a number, and I'd say, first rule of negotiating, you got to throw the number out first.
Right.
And so in July, he texted me. It was 2 days before my birthday. It was July 15th. He said, I'm ready. And so I picked up the phone. I called him. I said, where are we at? What are you thinking? He goes, this is my number. This is how I want to do this deal. Let's make it work. And I just thought, man, this is incredible. This is kind of exactly what I'd imagined for 6 years on how this thing would work out. And so then I sat back for a few days and I thought, man, with what I've got going on with business and community and family and everything else, it's important to me to have a team around this thing and not stretch myself too thin. And so Randolph being across the hall at Pinnacle, I started talking to him a little bit, and before we knew it, we felt like there was some good energy with it, and brought a couple other folks in. Cassidy King, who I'm super excited about being on the project. Cassidy was the purveyor of Pizza Rev.
Yeah, I mean, he's a real restaurateur.
Just a true restaurateur, and he's living in Little Rock now, but he's coming back in. He's going to be working directly on the operation side to make sure that everything I'm putting out there and trying to do is making sense from a dollar standpoint.
Now, are you going to keep the setup of Marilynn's?
So Marilynn's will stay Marilynn's, the same good vibes, the same good Cajun food, big Mardi Gras parties. For me, I think some of the things I'm most excited about, the community partnerships, the growth of the community around the building. I lived in the neighborhood for 7 years, and there were so many things I wanted to do that I just didn't do at the time in my career and my life. I wasn't a mover and shaker as I am now. And so, keep it as Marilynn's, just elevate everything. Better quality of food, better quality of the atmosphere
You think
itself.
the time's right for another restaurant right in there, to keep that going?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, at the end of the day, I think if we were to try to bring in something completely new and build something new in that area, we'd have a tough time. But reinvigorating something and elevating something that's already been
restaurants,
there.
I'm going to stop y'all, because I don't want anything on here to sound like Shreveport's not a great place to open a restaurant. Because the last few restaurants I've been a part of opening are on absolute fire.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get a misconception that we got I hate when people say, we got too many restaurants, or do we?
Yeah.
The good restaurants, the places that are ran right, always make it, and they work out the ones that are not being ran right, and that's natural how it should be. Shreveport's a great market for restaurants.
And I think, and Randolph can touch on this too, I mean, we've got 14 years of knowing what people kind of want out of this thing under our belt. But if you go in and you look at the reception so far on social media, a lot of people have felt the drop off of Marilynn's place, and they want to see it be great again.
Now, is it closed right now?
Yeah, we're fully closed. So we're under renovations for anywhere from, 8 to 12 weeks with permits and contractors and all that. We're very much in the mode of we open when we open.
So is it going to look like a restaurant refresh when you walk in?
Definitely.
I love a good restaurant refresh. I mean, when I was at Cane's, like, they did a total refresh of those canes like every 3.5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's important. I think.
Yeah, I think we're just going to come breathe some fresh air into the restaurant. I mean, it's in an unbelievable location with the synergy that Key Mexico, Louder, Docks has going on in that area, as well as, they've turned the old El Chicos into storage. You've got, Quirby's with just having, I don't know if you've heard about Quirby's, but their
What
bookings,
a comeback Quirby's has had.
It's incredible, and we want to have a real strong partnership with Quirby's.
Yeah.
And the golfers post or pre-match or game come to us. But it's just where it's located. It's in the heart of Shreveport, and what I call kind of the heartbeat of Shreveport, right there. And it's, in my opinion, it was kind of it was a neighborhood restaurant that kind of had lost the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And
There's a lot going on right there.
Well, and I'll say that, in my time over the last few months, going up there and visiting and just kind of hanging out with Boz, I mean, we would sit there and people would walk in and they'd go, oh, I'm from Houston, I'm from Lafayette, I'm from Lake Charles. But I didn't see a lot of faces from the neighborhood. To Randolph's point, I think that if you look at the reviews and you look at the social media, it's got such positive reviews. People Google it. I mean, even to this day, people walk by all the empty, the furniture and the power washer out front. And they're like, oh, we drove from Lake Charles.
Marshall,
and I'm like, man, I'm so sorry,
Marshall,
But it's got this great following still. But like Randolph alluded to, the community had kind of backed away from it. And I think that's because Boz had gotten to a point where he wasn't continuing to push. He was almost at a neutral
the
state.
food, but Boz's menu has always been phenomenal.
Yeah,
it really has.
I mean, it really
Very
has. Like, the
creative.
food has been great. Oh, there's a lot of other weird intricacies that came along with that restaurant through the years.
Yeah.
But, like, the food there that Boz created is phenomenal.
It's great. I thought one of the funniest things I've heard someone say about this whole deal was that Boz was more worried about trying to figure out how to put an inflatable on the roof than he was trying to keep like new furnitures or chairs in there. And that's so true.
Yeah.
Like, he had these big dreams and these big brain ideas, and he was great at those. But some of the things that you needed to do or he needed to do to keep the community, on it, he had just kind of let go at times. And he'd be the first one to tell you
Did y'all
that.
get
He
that
was-
cool truck he built?
No, so he blew the engine in the truck. So,
that truck was awesome.
That was a great truck.
Yeah.
We'll have a truck at some point, but that one went out to the great.
So what
went out
about
to the
catering? Do you
graveyard.
think you're going to go into catering from there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a ton of possibilities between, the events we do on site, but yeah, the catering, absolutely. And there's a lot of strong partnerships that we, bought in. If you look at something like Centenary football, if you go to a Centenary football game, Boz and the Maryland's crew are out there tailgating and they're at and doing the VIP tailgates for every Centenary game. They've got partnerships all across the city, all across North Louisiana, that we now kind of get to go in and learn and hopefully build on those relationships that he had done.
Well, what
for
about
so
the
long.
parking? What do you think about the parking? I mean, it's pretty congested right there around
It's congested.
lunchtime.
Yeah. And for me, Randolph, being the real estate guy, can tell you a little bit more about how all the things work with the city. But for me, when we first looked at the plan, you have to have, I think we need 26 parking spots is the number we have. Well, there's probably 4 of them that are drawn in the back where the dumpsters are, right? And so the parking itself is a problem. The city is moving towards, which I think is a great step, for no parking minimum requirements for businesses. And for us, that opens up a ton of opportunity to expand the patio footprint and the other footprint of the restaurant into the parking lot. Well, then you go, okay, well, where are people going to park? We do have the neighborhood, but I think there are some things we can do, particularly on Fern Avenue. It's 3 lanes right now. I think that we're working on a pretty aggressive plan with the city to try and put some parking on Fern Avenue, which would benefit Key, Louders, the flower shop,
everybody
Docks.
right
I mean,
there.
everybody would benefit. And to me, also, it benefits neighborhood, because when you put street parking down, you put nice crosswalks, you put a mural on the street, it slows down traffic. Okay. And when you slow down traffic, it feels safer for everybody. And when it feels safer for everybody, everybody gets to get out and enjoy it more. And if they're out and enjoying it more, then we can start to say, okay, well, if we had this or we had this or we had this, and we can start making things come true. We can make the bayou nicer.
Have you ever seen the picture? Somebody worked up a picture where you flooded up the bayou and you made it permanently hold
permanent.
water.
Yeah, 100%.
Have you seen that drawing?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's one of the best ideas I've ever seen for sure.
Yeah.
That's a game changer idea.
And I do know that folks, before I moved out of the neighborhood in 2023, I was working with Kyle Bajwan and some other folks from the neighborhood association to make a plan to where Betty Virginia felt more connected to Bayou Pierre, which could then feel more connected to where it runs behind Frank's and where it runs behind the apartments and all that. And if you can figure out how to tie all that together, and my understanding are that there are some legislators that are seeing that vision too. And if you tie all that together, you talk about a whole different dynamic for the city as to where you have these neighborhoods now that aren't linked. You get them linked through this natural kind of path.
One of our biggest disadvantages is that we don't have a way to ride a bike or run from
But it's pretty
neighborhood
easy to do it
neighborhood.
around there.
It is.
It is very walkable.
And I
which
think,
isn't that the big thing now? Walkability to where people can walk
absolutely.
to where they want to
and
go.
Randolph, I mean, I think that his experience in other cities and what his family's done in the real estate world really kind of gets me so excited for what we can do. So I'd love for him to kind of just talk about what that walkability means from a real estate standpoint.
It is, you know, it's you know, that's the one of the complaints about Shreveport is we don't have a walkability, ability to walk places and eat and then walk home. And that is one area where we really do have that there, as well as with the real estate of Maryland's. I just love the bones of Maryland's. I mean, if you were to tell me it's an old gas station with the big doors that open, and I mean, it's just got such great bones, and
It's got character. I
it
mean,
does.
When you pull up to it, it feels
does.
good. Like,
and like it's a finite resource. They're only making so much of that type of. And I've always wanted to be part of a restaurant that's in an old garage. I just think, you know, when you go to places like Little Rock, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Dallas, Houston, they have all these old buildings that people have come in with these food concepts and drink concepts. And, you know, we just wanted a place to land, as well as you touched on Centenary. I think Centenary, you look at how much just positive stuff they have going with all of their athletics, from football, basketball, baseball, softball,
They just
soccer.
opened up that new apartment complex
They did.
next to them.
yeah, that's cool.
As well as, you know, when I was growing up, I can remember them having, you know, the beginning of basketball season, they would have like an opening party where all the players were there, and it would be like a happy hour. I was much younger, but like it seemed like Centenary had kind of, the athletics had gotten quiet. Now we wanted a place where people post football games, pre-football games, basketball games at the Gold Dome, come by and have a drink, have a po' boy, and, you know, take yourself over to Centenary. I just think Centenary has just got so much positive going with it right now, athletic-wise especially.
And there's that movement to clean up Kings Highway.
Yeah, those drawings are really cool too.
They are.
They're phenomenal. The stuff that those guys are doing and the ideas that they have, even when you get down to where y'all's offices are here, there's so much potential for Kings Highway to just become this amazing little strip. But again, living in the neighborhood, I was 3 houses off of Fern on Greenway. And so I would walk out my front door, take a right, and I could be on the bayou within 2 seconds. But I always had to stop right out there on the corner with the girls. I've got 2 little girls, and I'd go, you know, I'm looking back and forth 200 times because people fly.
They do.
It's meant to be 35, 45, whatever it is.
And that sidewalk's tight to the road.
Sidewalk's tight to the road. There's no parking. So, I mean, they're going and going. And you can literally, like, you could stand there now and you could see people kind of flying by each other just in ways they shouldn't be. And so I think that, to me, honestly, the street parking or something to do with the street to slow it down. And we've seen the impact. I take the girls to Noel Methodist, and right in front of the Highland Center, where they've painted 2 new crosswalks in the mural, or actually like 5 new crosswalks in the mural, people are slowing down. And that was one of the worst intersections. You would always have to stop, even when the light turned green, because you'd worry you're going to get hit. And so I had a good conversation yesterday with those folks about how the mural has slowed people down and how the crosswalk being brand new and the flashing light, it slows people down. I also think with the building, we have this opportunity to shine it up, make it beautiful. I had a conversation with a mural artist earlier this week, and he said, "What do you want me to do with the front?" I said, "I don't want people to drive by it. I want people to stop and take a picture of it." And so when you see Marilyn's place after the artwork and the new lighting and everything is done with it, you're going to go, man, I have to stop and take a picture of this.
It's like, y'all know, I'm always saying, like, what are the special parts of Shreveport? What are the parts that if somebody came to Shreveport, they would have some emotional feeling about it? And that area is really one.
Yeah.
First Baptist across the street is beautiful up on that hill.
Where's the history of it, too?
Quirby's looks so good now behind you.
It does.
Dude, that area with a little polishing could be a true.
And the Corby's Park Foundation, they're making strides. They're going to be, they've kind of operated a little bit under Shreveport Green for years and years and years. And now they're becoming their own nonprofit. And so I think
Jimbo
you'll
West
see,
is like the man.
I think you'll see in even farther, we're celebrating 100 years of Corby's this year. And I can't wait for the next 100 years of Corby's again, because there are going to be so many things that you get to see with that park. And unfortunately for me, moving away from the neighborhood, I moved in June of 23 when that big storm came through, because I walked out my backyard and I looked, and Corby's was like a war zone after that storm.
That was tough.
And there were other things involved with that move, but it felt like the neighborhood just took a direct hit in the mouth during that storm.
What are you thinking for opening?
Our hope is early 2026. Anything we get on this side of 2025 would be great. If we get in for Christmas and do a couple Christmas soft openings, things like that, would be phenomenal. But ideally, we're open early January, and then of course we get to celebrate the Krewe Highland Parade February 15th. There's 0% chance. People have said, you got to be open by Krewe Highland. There's 0% chance. I will pull every card I have out of my pocket, special event, whatever it needs to be.
So Mardi Gras will be big for you. Mardi Gras is early.
Mardi Gras has always been big for Maryland's place. The Krewe Highland's always been kind of Maryland's has always been that epicenter of Krewe Highland. They float load there. They get off there. The after party is there till 9, 10 o'clock at night. And so there's no way we miss Krewe Highland. And there's no way, Matt will love to hear this, that party doesn't become 10 times bigger than what it has been, and it's already been really big in the past. But from what I've learned from guys like Matt and all the other folks that throw big events, and there's so much opportunity to grow it from where it is now. To me, I want it to be one of the biggest fundraisers in the city. I look at us as being able to do $250,000 that day and spread it out into the community and make our own piece of that pie too. But there's just so much opportunity to throw that giant party and extend it over the weekend or week.
All right, I know where I'm going to be on the Parade of Highland. I'm with that right there.
Yeah, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking now about getting it planned, getting the VIP stuff planned, how we can change a little bit this year. But I really just need to settle in, figure out what they've done for 14 years successfully, and then from here I'm going to
hold me a couple
blow
of
that thing out. I will for sure, man.
Definitely. Well, all right, guys, this has been really great. This is exciting. It's a great neighborhood. We're excited about what y'all are doing.
Keep fighting the fight.
Yeah,
Bob.
absolutely.
We're cheering for
We're
you.
going nowhere, man. We've got, the reception has been great. I can't thank the community enough for just rallying around this and really giving us the honest feedback of what they want out of this restaurant. Because as much as it is ours, it's in the heart of the neighborhood. It belongs to the community. We're the purveyors of hopefully the next 15, 20 years of it. So
thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank y'all.
Enjoy the podcast? We would love your feedback about today's show and who you think should be our next guest. Send us an email at info@eapla.com. Also, be sure to share the show and leave a comment on our social media post.